I'm Aaron Sackett. I'm an assistant professor of marketing at the Opus College of Business here at the University of St. Thomas. So my research on time progression looks at this interesting little side effect of the feeling that time has passed surprisingly quickly or slowly. So we've all had the experience in our lives where we look at a clock and say, oh my gosh, where's the time gone? And it turns out, my research has found that one of the little side effects of that experience is that we tend to look back after having this experience, look back at what we were doing and make added little judgments about what it was we were doing at the time. Specifically, we tend to evaluate the experience that we were having when that time passed surprisingly quickly as more pleasurable or more enjoyable than we otherwise would have. In terms of the real-world implications of this research, I would say that there are kind of two important things to keep in mind, and they're based on the two factors that lead consumers to misjudge time and then attribute it to being about enjoyment as opposed to something else. The first factor is distraction. So if you can get consumers to be distracted with regards to time, you're more likely for them to subsequently, half hour down the road, couple hours down the road, whatever it might be, look at the clock and say, oh my gosh, where did the time go? Okay. Second is a little bit less intuitive, and that's actually physiological arousal. It turns out that when our heart rate is going, when we've got adrenaline running, that our internal clock seems to tick a little bit more quickly. And so that also increases the speed with which time seems to progress. So Disney is a great example of this at their theme parks, right? They specifically structure the lines to a ride so that there's a lot to look at, a lot to do, so that you can reduce the amount of boredom that the customer is experiencing while waiting maybe a half hour or more just to get on a 5-minute ride. This research takes it one step further and says not only is that attention to time important for just decreasing boredom, but that if you can give customers the experience at the end that time passed a lot more quickly than they felt that it should have or did, that they'll look back at the whole experience and say, that was a better experience than it otherwise could have been. I've been able to engage some undergraduate students in particular in this research, and I've gotten some of the MBA and Masters of Business Communication students from some of my classes involved as well, primarily in serving as administrators for some of these studies. And I think it's a really good opportunity for them to see firsthand how some of what could be seen as cutting-edge research in consumer behavior actually gets done, right? And it's not what a lot of people think about when they think about marketing research. Think about marketing research as focus groups, interviews, maybe some surveys. A lot of my students don't realize that we're actually, many of us in marketing are doing essentially psychological experiments designed to understand what's going on in the mind of a consumer. St. Thomas has been phenomenal in supporting my research, both in terms of the resources that they provide, as well as sort of the culture that we have here. I would say in the past, probably 5 to 10 years, we've undergone a major shift in the degree to which we value faculty doing cutting-edge, sort of top-notch research here. Granted, I've only been here for about 2.5 of those years, and so I was actually able to benefit from already, that culture already starting to blossom here. At this point, we are in a place where our faculty are second to none, really, nationwide, and we're really beginning to make an impact on the scholarly disciplines, be it marketing, management, finance, you name it. Both on a national and a global scale. University of St. Thomas, ahead of the curve.